Good morning, everyone. Welcome to day 2 of the conference. Hope everybody is enjoying the conference so far. So we'll proceed with our first session with Dumar Caesar with regards to event management.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Good morning, all. Hopefully everybody is kind of rejuvenated, got coffees, everything. Everybody's awake right now by this time, hopefully. This is Durmuş Cesur. I'm working with the DC Water right now for over 3 years right now. And then I worked with the city of Durham for about 6 years before that. Just to let you know, I have some connections here, quite a bit of, especially Triangle area. And I'm working as a work and asset management systems manager over there, and then at the same time teaching at the universities, multiple universities here and there, as an adjunct professor. And I'd like to get started. I'm going to talk about today our organization first. I'm coming from DC, District of Columbia, Washington. I'm going to talk about, the system that we developed for the Washington District of Columbia for over, right now, almost 2 years, I may call it, event management system, but the longer name actually was emergency event management system more than anything else, to address the emergency events in general. That was the idea behind it, or driving force behind what's called this application. And that's what I'm going to be talking about. And then here is our agenda. First of all, I'd like to kind of describe who we are first, where we are. I mean, we all know District of Columbia is the capital of US. What we do, as an agency, that's what I'm going to be talking about. And then after that, I'm going to get into what's called this application that we developed to address the emergency events as it pertains to water in particular. And first of all, District of Columbia Water, how it came about. As we all know, District of Columbia's status is in limbo or in discussions for centuries, maybe, over centuries right now. Representation with no taxation, as we all know. This is a classical, adage or motto, like written on the driver license plates even, I would say. I'm still being discussed whether this should be at state or, kind of a local or something else. We're not sure 100% what we are going to be eventually, but our status is unknown. Let me put it that way, more of. And as part of this status, we have been, we were acting, or organized under the city as a public works department initially, like a century ago or so. But public works hasn't been able to address what's called city's water and sewer needs in a nutshell properly because of that. This independent entity, like DC Water, has been created in 1996, as I already put it out here, as an authority. Like this part of what's called this government, authority of this government, and then it has gone through what's called United States Congress approval as well. In 2010, we named ourselves as what's called DC Water, or branded ourselves as DC Water. Original name was District of DC WASA, which stands for Water and Sewer Authority of District of Columbia. Let me put it that way. And this is about who we are. And then where we are, as you would expect, we are in the capital of the nation, in the District of Columbia. We are an entity, again, independent entity of our own, and dealing with or providing the services, water and sewer services, to the what's called individual customers, especially in the district's boundaries, like around 700K population overall, 130K population as individual customers. I may put it that way. Plus, we are providing the services, especially sewer treatment services for the area organizations or area counties, and I may put it that way. That's the kind of a picture depicting, actually. And when I say area counties, like DC metro area counties, I'm talking about more of Prince George's County and Montgomery County on the Maryland side, and Loudoun and Fairfax counties on the Virginia side. We are providing the sewer treatment services with our advanced treatment plant that's located at Blue Plains facility, which is kind of on the lower right corner of what's called this picture that you see. And then as far as my knowledge is concerned, it is the most advanced treatment facility in the US and in the world. It's small, but it's the most advanced facility. We have tons of what's called water treatment units, I may put it that way, including the anaerobic digesters, flocculators, and you name it, in this facility to treat the water, to clean the water, in a nutshell. And the 6 main water source actually coming from the what's called Washington Aqueduct, which is on Potomac River for the most part. And they are a separate entity, part of a U.S. Army Corps of Engineers as well. They are kind of wholesalers of the water for our entity in a nutshell. And then the surrounding area counties, I may put it that way. And then what we do as an organization, essentially we have been kind of servicing over 2.2 million customers as to the what's called essentially treatment of service in particular. And we are, our total service area is at 725 square miles. And then we are treating the what's called wastewater of the 1.6 million population in this metro area, as I already expressed, 4-county jurisdiction, I may call it, including the Fairfax County, Loudoun County, on the Virginia side, and Montgomery County, and Prince George's County on the Maryland side. And then some operational metrics as to the what's called services that we provide, as the treatment activities that we do. We are pumping more than 95 million gallons of water to our customers every day, some of the figures. And then collecting and treating the 300 million gallons of wastewater every day. And then we have around 9,500 public hydrants we are kind of maintaining, operating, and responsible for from the maintenance of these what's called fire hydrants. And then, of course, we have tons of other infrastructure elements as well underneath, as we all know, like similar to the other water and sewer agencies. We have to maintain, we have to develop, we have to improve every single day pretty much. I mean, as we all know, especially in the East Coast, I mean, aging infrastructure is a very big problem. And then how to renovate, how do you say improve, how to replace, how to extend the lifeline of the what's called existing structures is quite a bit of a big problem. That's what I would say. And then we are kind of part of these problematic areas as well. Like over 100 years of what's called infrastructure being used, still used, or we are trying to use as best as we can. And given that, we have limited resources, but unlimited wishes, wants, desires. That's the kind of a basic economic formula that we are dealing with, or we have to be challenging with, or we have been challenged with every single day, pretty much. We have limited monies, limited resources, how we could invest these resources to the wisest possible options available for our district international. That's what we are constantly striving for, or trying to find out the formula or magic formula for. And as part of what's called our executives' directive in a nutshell, they said, we have flooding, we have sewer backups, that, all these issues kind of taking place, especially water-related issues taking place in the area, in our what's called jurisdiction, in our district. We need to address this timely. We would like to see the operational picture at the same time, not only kind of address the what's called major issues that are related with the water and sewer services, but also we need to know the what's called operational picture of who's doing what, when, where, throughout the district. With that kind of idea came this EMS product, Emergency Event Management System came about, in a nutshell. It came about to provide automated, coordinated, rapid, and information-driven response capabilities to the emergency situations as it pertains to water. Again, like flooding is, of course, one of the major issues. Sewer backups is another issue, and there are many others as well. Catch basin clogging and other issues, things like that. And then it provides us what's called a real-time integrated platform to monitor emergencies impacting the distribution and collection systems, like our wastewater infrastructure and treatment plant in a nutshell, and then be able to kind of enable us to respond rapidly, timely, effectively, and efficiently. That was the purpose of the what's called major reason why this application being developed in a nutshell. And we have multiple components of these applications. Application is configuration driven. I'd love to show what's called some kind of video, but unfortunately I haven't been provided yet. So once I get it, I may kind of ship it out to you. If you are interested, just provide me your contact information. I could kind of provide you the what's called real workings of or real like video recordings of how the system works as well. It is composed of multiple dashboards, and then these are incident tracking tool in order to kind of what's called get the customer incidents or reportings, through the command center stuff, for them to enter the what's called incidents, what the issues are, and then create the work orders to address these incidents in a nutshell. That's the part of the what's called essentially piece of the component that addresses these incidents and associated work orders. And we have water track and flood track. Kind of shows the dashboards essentially that shows the major incidents operating picture of the what's called current entity, water crews, and related with the flooding related activities. And then we have water ops and sewer ops, essentially shows where the crews are, to keep track of the vehicles, where they are located, what are the assignments, what are the locations that we are dealing with as the problems or issues with water or sewer service in a nutshell. And we have water quality dashboard being developed right now, and then we are going to be adding more features as well as time goes by. Right now, project is getting into its sixth phase. We did the what's called in the development of this application. We use the sprints, and we use the what's called agile methodologies, and with associated tools like, for example, Jira, to identify the requirements and to prioritize the requirements per phase in a nutshell. And then we had 6 phases, each one of these pretty much 3 months long. And then we have two weeks durations, like sprints essentially we used in order to develop the products or viable products, viable with the features essentially every other week. We are releasing the features every other week or bug fixes every other week in a nutshell. And at the same time, it has been integrated with the online weather services and real-time sensor data. It's integrated with our SCADA system, Wonderware-based, which has been purchased by Aviva in these days, as you may have heard, I'm not sure. And it's integrated with our PCS system, which is Emerson-based. It incorporates more of sensor data, Syrinix, Telog, Mueller, you may have already heard, or maybe using in your organizations as well, to collect what's called pressure data, temperature data, you name it, water quality data, for example, libellium, things like that, essentially being incorporated into the system to provide the real-time operational picture of how system is acting or reacting, put it that way. And then we are providing the what's called the alerts, all this stuff as well. We have capabilities to provide the alerts to the what's called our customer service representatives, and then through them to the what's called public in case needed through the system. And this is an incident tracking tool, which is kind of used by our command center or customer service representatives in a nutshell to document what's called customer issues, and then to what's called gather all these issues, and then at the same time, not only what's called document the issues, but also, create the work orders if deemed necessary. And then in certain cases, as you would expect in the customer service field or customer service side or command center side, you may be getting many incidents, many incidents pointing to the same issue. There is a possibility of multiple people reporting the same issue with different languages or different words or sentences, let me put it that way. So you need to kind of shift through what's called all this information and then assign the work orders or what's called create the work orders to address these issues accordingly. That's one of the challenges that we are going to be, we have been tasked to address as well. And at the same time, you need to provide, mapping capabilities. This is JS-centric, I may call it that way, mapping-centric or map-centric system. GIS capabilities for our customer service staff to interact with the map and then to locate the what's called issues where they are located in a nutshell in the best way possible based on the what's called information they capable of getting. And then they could provide it provides live stream and other capabilities as well, as you could see over here. And it provides the data summaries, and then on the right-hand side, you see it provides the capabilities that integrates with our asset management system, which is Maximo, to create the work orders as well. And this is at the background, it uses the message management system in order to update the users as to the issue's resolution, where we are, Okay, I reported the issue, but your customers want to know what's the status of the issue that I reported. Are they being handled? Are they being closed? Are they being done? That's the system essentially that we use to provide these timely updates to the customers as we resolve the issues, address the issues at the background. And this is flood track. It shows what's called essential flooding related emergencies or events, critical events that we need to be aware of. And then updates our executives plus our users as to these flood related events with the associated charts, and then sensor data being, for example, being communicated on the right-hand side from the pump stations. And then data summaries provided on the left-hand side panes, through the widgets, as you could see, with the graphical representation. And then at the center point, you see the mapping interface to interact with the map to see what the flood events or emergencies may be happening throughout the district. This is water track. Again, it's geared towards the water, our water services people to show the water-related events and associated data with the widgets, graphs, real-time sensor data is being incorporated, as you could see on the right-hand side, together with the associated, critical threshold values, things like that, essentially being shown on the left-hand side through the widgets and panes that are available. And then we have live stream data being incorporated as well. And sewer tracks, similar information again for the geared towards the sewer crews, sewer-related emergencies, events being shown with associated summaries, with the associated sensor information, with the associated, widgets and, mapping capabilities in a nutshell. Water apps, similar deal, like to show what's called water-related events, water, outages, things like that in a nutshell being shown over here with the, again, sensor data, SCADA data on the right-hand side, and then widgets showing the variety of information with the water-related events being shown on the left-hand side. And water quality, this is again under development. We are finalizing or revising constantly in a nutshell. And it shows the water quality related events, in a nutshell. Similar fashion. And then we have alerts dashboard to identify how many alerts, how many critical events are taking place right now. Do we have some kind of an overall emergency, like events, we call it, if it, for example, if it goes beyond the 10 incidents in an hour, then we call it as an event, which requires major resource deployment in a nutshell. It can't be just a simple issue. There is a flooding ongoing throughout the district, let us put it that way. So we are reporting or we are documenting this through the dashboard, alerts dashboard, or be able to see this through the alert dashboard. And then at the background, of course, this application is quite robust, as I already expressed. There is quite a bit of configuration-driven or configuration-based admin UI. That's what we use, as a managers or administrator of this application, to incorporate, let's say, new sensor data, to incorporate, new maximum work order types, to incorporate, you name it, dozens of things. It's a robust, configurable application we are talking about here, and quite integrated with the real-time sensor data. And in 2022, because of this robust architecture, our application, of course, at the background, it uses tons of technical elements, enterprise systems, by the way. Don't get me wrong. It appears to be on the front end, appears to be simple web application, looks like it, but at the background, we are using Elasticsearch, Logstash, Kibana, Trio, we are using Kafka, we are using Java, Beans, all this stuff, you name it. There is a back end and there is a front end piece of this, in a nutshell. But it's right now definitely quite robust and configurable. It could be applied to any entity pretty much, and we are trying to productize actually this product for the rest of the water entities and sewer entities to use. And then because of this robust architecture, we have been awarded Smart Water Project of the Year in 2022 in Madrid, Spain, Global Awards. And with that, I'd like to, stop here. I kind of rushed through some of the slides, sorry about it. I should have, given more weight to some of the critical things or dashboards especially, which is the crux of the application, but Hopefully, you got the idea and you got the information that you needed. Any questions, any concerns, anything that you would like to know about at this time? Anything? Okay, with that, thank you all.